You know that woman you watch from afar and, without her saying a single word, you already sense that she is different? It is not the handbag. It is not the dress. It is not even her body. It is something you cannot quite identify, but it instantly communicates. This woman has class. While most women compete for attention by gesturing, speaking loudly, and trying to prove their worth, she dominates the space effortlessly. And here is the secret the middle class never told you. Elegance is not about having money. It is about mastering invisible social codes that separate those who only appear refined from those who truly are. I am Carol, and here at Lucrative Elegance, I show you exactly what these codes are. If you want to learn how to be elegant, make a good impression, and turn your elegance into something profitable, subscribe to the channel now, turn on the notification bell, and hit the like button. Because what I am going to teach you today will completely change the way people see you. Let me tell you something. In the year 2024, Princeton University published a fascinating study on social class signals. Do you know what they discovered? That in less than 90 seconds of interaction, people already classify you socially. And the most shocking part? It is not because of your clothes. It is because of your behavior, your gestures, the way you react. The elite has always known this, which is why they trained their daughters from childhood in these codes. But the middle class? They kept thinking that buying an expensive handbag would solve the problem. Now pay attention to this. While the average woman enters a room nervously adjusting the strap of her handbag, laughing loudly to hide her discomfort, and seeking validation in every glance, the elegant woman simply enters. No fuss, no anxiety, no need to prove anything. Let me give you a real example. Do you know the series Succession? That scene where Shiv Roy is in a tense business meeting and everyone is yelling, getting agitated, trying to dominate the conversation. And her? Sitting, perfect posture, low voice, waiting for the exact moment to speak. When she finally opens her mouth, everyone stops to listen. That is power. That is what separates the elegant woman from the ordinary woman. Rule number 1. She never interrupts. The average woman fights for space in a conversation. The woman from the elite owns the space in the conversation. And there is a massive difference between these two things. When you interrupt someone, you are silently saying, "What you are saying does not matter." You are showing anxiety, a lack of self-control, and a desperate need to be the center of attention. This is the most common behavior at average social gatherings, where everyone is trying to prove they are interesting, that they have traveled, or that they know important people. The elegant woman? She maintains eye contact, waits for a natural pause in the conversation, responds calmly, and adds to the other person's thought without trying to compete. She understands that when you show that you truly listened, you gain something far more valuable than attention. You gain respect. Have you ever noticed how certain women are heard even in silence? That is because they have built a reputation that when they speak, it is worth listening to. And that kind of reputation is not built by speaking more. It is built by speaking better. A study published in the Journal of Social Psychology in the year 2024 showed that people who interrupt frequently are perceived as 35% less trustworthy and 28% less competent. But here is the cruel detail. The person who interrupts is usually unaware they are doing it. It is such an automatic habit that they believe they are simply engaging in the conversation. When you do not interrupt, you communicate confidence, self-control, emotional intelligence, and verbal elegance. And that is something no designer handbag can buy. Rule number 2. She never gossips. This part is crucial. Gossip is the common social currency. The elite understands that talking about other people's lives is inappropriate, insecure, dangerous, and childish. Let me tell you a true story. In the year 2023, an executive at one of the largest technology companies in the world lost a promotion that was practically guaranteed. Do you know why? Because the CEO found out that she had been making comments about her colleagues' personal lives during business lunches. They were not even terrible things, just those seemingly harmless remarks. "Did you see that she is dating that guy?" But the CEO thought, if she talks about others with me, then she surely talks about me with others. And that was it. Promotion gone. The elegant woman never talks about other people's personal lives. She talks about ideas, culture, travel, projects, aesthetics, and experiences. She does not lower herself to gain quick intimacy through gossip. She elevates the conversation to earn respect through meaningful dialogue. The elite understands that gossip is a sign of an empty life. When you have interesting projects, rich experiences, and a cultivated mind, you simply do not need to fill the silence with other people's stories. Do you know someone who seems elegant even when standing still, doing nothing? I bet that person is not the type who comments on the lives of others. Rule number 3. Silence is a tool. Now pay close attention to this because it will change your life. The elegant woman understands that strategic silence is not passivity, it is intelligence. Most women are terrified of silence. They believe they must fill every second of a conversation, that they must respond to every provocation, that they must always have a reply ready, and that is exhausting. It is anxious behavior, and it is perceived as a lack of self-control. The elegant woman uses silence to demonstrate self-mastery, to avoid unnecessary conflict, to resist impulsive reactions, to observe who loses composure, to identify who is trying to provoke her, and to maintain poise in difficult situations. Do you know that moment when someone makes a passive-aggressive comment about you? The average woman reacts immediately, defends herself, justifies herself. The elegant woman? She simply looks, offers a subtle smile, and continues the conversation as if nothing happened. Her silence is devastating because it denies the aggressor what he wants, a reaction. Think of Queen Elizabeth II. She spent decades handling royal family scandals, public criticism, and political crises. And what was her response most of the time? Strategic silence. She understood that she did not need to justify herself for every criticism, and that silence kept her in power for more than 70 years. A study from Harvard University on high-level negotiations found that elite negotiators use strategic pauses approximately 40% more than novice negotiators. Why? Because silence creates discomfort in the other person, and whoever speaks first during that discomfort usually loses power in the negotiation. Rule number 4. Impeccable social posture. If you forget everything else, remember just this. It is not about sitting in a cute way. It is about projecting balance, firmness, presence, and emotional maturity. Before people hear your voice, they read your posture. In the year 2024, researchers at Princeton University conducted a fascinating experiment. They showed silent videos of women moving through social spaces. No sound, no context. Just the way they walked and positioned themselves. And guess what? Participants correctly identified the social class of these women in 78% of the cases, based solely on posture. The elegant woman keeps her spine upright. She does not slouch. She does not twist or fidget. She does not look at her phone while speaking. She uses minimal gestures, moves her hands with intention but never excessively, and she walks without haste. She never appears rushed, never seems anxious, never looks desperate to please. And here is an important detail. She never crosses her arms while speaking. Do you know why? Because crossing your arms communicates defensiveness, emotional closure, and discomfort. The elegant woman keeps her body open, relaxed, and confident. Do you know what impresses me the most? Posture reveals exactly how much you value yourself. When you hunch, shrink, or hide, you are telling the world, I do not deserve space here. When you stand tall, look people in the eyes, and occupy your space naturally, you are saying, I have the same right to be here as anyone else. Rule number 5. She never shows urgency. Desperation is a strong marker of class, and this is harsh, but it is true. The elegant woman does not run in public. She does not show haste. She does not rush to speak. She does not display anxiety in trying to please. She does not apologize for existing. She moves like someone who is in control of her own schedule, and that is worth more than any luxury handbag. Let me give you an example. You are at an upscale restaurant and notice that the waitress forgot to bring your water. The average woman waves frantically, calls out loudly, shows irritation. The elegant woman? She simply waits to make eye contact with the waitress and gives a subtle nod. No drama, no urgency, no loss of composure. According to a study from Harvard Business School published in the year 2023, high-level executives walk, on average, 15% slower than mid-level managers. And it is not laziness, it is confidence. It is the certainty that the world will wait for them, not the other way around. Urgency communicates that you are not in control of your time, that you are at the mercy of circumstances, that you are constantly in survival mode. And that, my dear, is the exact opposite of elegance. Rule number 6. She never raises her voice. Here is a brutal truth no one tells you. The louder you speak, the less power you hold. The elegant woman has learned a fundamental lesson that the middle class has yet to understand. Volume is not authority. It is desperation. Think with me. Have you noticed that in expensive restaurants the environment is always quieter? That is not a coincidence. The elite speak softly because they know that whoever controls the tone controls the situation. When you speak loudly, you are competing for attention. When you speak softly, you force people to listen to you. There is a study from Stanford University, published in the year 2023, that analyzed communication patterns in high-level corporate environments. They discovered something surprising. Executives in the highest positions speak, on average, 20% more quietly than mid-level managers. Why? Because they do not need to prove anything. The anxiety of needing to be heard is a clear sign of insecurity. The elegant woman never shouts to place an order at a restaurant. She never raises her voice during a disagreement. She never competes through volume. Because she knows that speaking loudly reveals tension, a need for attention, and a desire to dominate through exaggeration. And that, my dear, is vulgar. She also never says, "Oh my gosh," in a dramatic tone. She does not use expressions like, every 2 sentences. She knows that every word communicates a level, and vulgarity in language is just as revealing as vulgarity in clothing. Rule number 7. She understands the context and adapts. This is the most powerful rule of all, and it is the one that 90% of women do not master. Elegant women can read a room. They know when to be discreet, when to brighten the environment, when to speak less, when to show warmth, when to be reserved, and when to reinforce their presence. Elegance is strategic adaptation, not rigidity. You may have all the other rules memorized, but if you do not know how to read the environment, you will seem out of place. And seeming out of place is the opposite of elegance. Let me give you a real example. I know a woman who is the CEO of a tech startup. One day, she is in meetings with investors, all serious, all technical, all business. The next day, she is at a charity luncheon, all charismatic, all warm, all approachable. Same person, different contexts, different behaviors. That is social intelligence. A 2024 study from Columbia University analyzed women in leadership positions and found that the most successful shared one common trait: behavioral flexibility. They were able to move between different social contexts without losing authenticity, while adjusting their tone, energy, and presence as needed. They never seem out of place. They seem perceptive, intelligent, and appropriate. And this rule alone already places you above 90% of women. Now let me ask you something. Do you feel that you know how to dress well, but still get treated as if you are just ordinary? Then perhaps the problem is not your clothing. It is the code behind it. And that is exactly why I created the course Look Rich Without Spending Much. You can learn all these etiquette rules here on the channel, but there is a complete system behind how wealthy women are perceived and treated in the world. And it is not only about behavior. These are visual codes, style details, and presentation strategies that the elite learns from childhood, but no one teaches you. In this course, I show you exactly how to decode the visual language of wealth, how to choose pieces that communicate sophistication without spending a fortune, and above all, how to project the image of a successful woman who opens doors, attracts opportunities, and completely changes how people treat you. You do not need to be born rich to be treated like a woman of value, but you do need to look like you belong in that environment. And that is what I will teach you. And look, the price is currently discounted, so if you are tired of feeling out of place in sophisticated environments, if you want to be taken more seriously, and if you finally want to understand the codes that separate you from the women you admire, click the link in the description and secure your spot now. Now let me give you a quick review of what you learned today, because these 7 rules are going to change your life. Rule 1, she never interrupts. Listening with genuine attention earns more respect than speaking without pause. Rule 2, she never gossips. Talking about other people's lives is a sign of an empty life. Elegant women speak about ideas, not about people. Rule 3, silence is a tool. It is not passivity, it is strategic intelligence that demonstrates self-control. Rule 4, impeccable social posture. Before they hear your voice, people have already judged you by your posture. Rule 5, she never shows urgency. Rushing is a sign of a lack of control. Calmness is a mark of power. Rule 6, she never raises her voice. Volume is not authority, it is desperation. The one who controls the tone controls the situation. Rule 7, she understands the context and adapts. Reading the room is what separates the truly elegant woman from the one trying to appear elegant. Everything I showed you today is not about good manners. It is about social competence, one of the strongest indicators of class in the modern world. Elegance is not in the clothing, it is in how you behave. And when you master these 7 rules, you do not just look more refined. You become a woman who is more confident, more composed, more strategic, and naturally more admired. People will treat you differently, they will respect you more, they will take you more seriously, and that will open doors in your life you never even imagined existed. If you want to keep learning the invisible codes that transform your presence and your social life, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss any videos. And if this content made sense to you, hit the like button. And look, if you enjoyed the video, comment below which of these 7 rules impacted you the most. Or better yet, comment with the phrase that stayed in your mind. I read every comment, and I love to know what resonates with you. Because here at Lucrative Elegance, elegance is not luxury, it is intelligence. And if you are truly committed to transforming your image and want to support the work I create with such care, consider becoming a member of the channel. Memberships start at $4.99 per month, and you will gain access to exclusive content, member-only live streams, and become part of a community of women who are truly transforming. Just click the join button. I will see you in the next video, and remember, elegance is your most profitable choice.